Okay, so we have our ambassadors, and I think we have Andrea Okie here also. She's on her way up here. So let's see. Marilyn Brown, Dr. Marilyn Brown, to my right, most closely, is a professor at Georgia Tech. And I'll make this really quick. Anne Sullivan is a partner and practice leader at in energy at Hogan Lovells. Andrea is with the analysis group, and they are all here for the Lifetime Achievement Award. So without further ado.
All right, well, it is my pleasure to be part of this award of the Lifetime Achievement Award to Sue Tierney. I want to give you a little bit of historic perspective and then talk a bit about Sue and pass the baton over to Marianne. 2 years ago, we began the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is actually the first awards program year of C3E. And that awardee was Mildred Dusselhouse, who was here this morning, but I don't see her this afternoon. She's a pioneer of nanoscience. And then last year, the award went to Maxine Savitz, who's an engineer with a kind of C-office industrial credentials that we heard about yesterday when Heather Faust Cummings gave her talk. And this year, our awardee is Sue Tierney. She is an expert on energy policy and economics with a very strong grounding in science and technology issues, and therefore embodies a different kind of expertise, more of a transdisciplinary coverage of expertise that's so important to solving the kinds of wicked problems that we face today, including energy security and global climate change. She earned her PhD and her master's degrees in regional planning and public policy from Cornell, where she had a female mentor, I say with envy. Subsequently, she developed a career that focused on the electric and gas industries, dealing with very thorny issues like industry restructuring, transmission issues, clean energy regulation, and wholesale and retail markets. All of these are very thorny, complex issues that she, with her rhetorical skills, is able to make sound simple, but they really aren't. Early in her career, then, she spent a number of years, I guess about a dozen, in state government, and then following state government in the Department of Energy. Her first position in state government was in Massachusetts under Governor Mike Dukakis. She was on the Public Utility Board. I think I have this order right. Maybe someone can correct me. And then she went to a position as a commissioner for Environmental Affairs under Governor William Weld, who's a Republican. So, as you can see, her strong bona fides and bipartisanship come through, able to work for both sides of the aisle. I like to think of this as a unique skill. We really need to be bipartisan if we're going to try to be effective in exerting change. As F. Scott Fitzgerald said in 1936 in an essay called The Crack Up, the test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. I consider that a great asset when it comes to dealing with bipartisanship these days. At the federal level, she then went to work under President Clinton in the Department of Energy, heading the policy office, which is now the position that Melanie Kinderdine has. So currently, Sue is affiliated with the Analysis Group, where she consults with companies and governments and non-profits. I have no idea how she finds time to clock in these hours because she has such a commitment to public service activities. For instance, she chairs the External Oversight Board for the National Renewable Energy Lab. She chairs the board of Climate Works Foundation. She's a director of the World Resources Institute, the Alliance to Save Energy, and the Energy Foundation, and she's a member of the Bipartisan Policy Center's Energy Project. This is like a who's who of think tanks in our field. I got to know Sue during the 7 years we served together on the as commissioners in what was called then the Bipartisan Policy Center. 3 of the initial 18 commissioners were women. In addition to Sue and me, it was Linda Stuntz, so 3 out of 18. And I'll tell you, we were heard. We were not ignored. And we were able to pull off some good, well-negotiated compromises and produced a great report called Ending the Energy Stalemate, which proposed a cap-and-trade system for the federal government and really brought that idea into the dialogue of many senators at the time. So between commission meetings, we often did get a chance to talk about our families. So Sue has 2 sons and, of course, is married. When people tell you that it can't be done, of course, having a family, a successful marriage, and also hardworking, great career, just look to Sue and look to all the women you've heard about. Incredibly, some of those with as many as 4 children. It can be done. So Sue is quick of wit, big of spirit, generous of heart, and Anne Sullivan is going to tell you a little bit more, now that I've gone through the facts and figures of Sue's career, about her personal traits, her winning personal traits.
Marilyn did a wonderful job of recounting Sue's professional achievements, and clearly they're substantial. But as Marilyn also indicated, I'm going to speak to the personal characteristics, which I've admired since I first worked with Sue at DOE. Those characteristics center around the obvious joy and generosity of spirit she brings to her work. Of those in the room who know Sue, how many of you have seen her laugh? How many of you have seen her smile? How many of you have heard her speak well of the contributions others have made? I think the number approaches 100% of those who know her, because that's really what Sue is about. 2 years ago, C3E asked Sue to frame the issues for our symposium for that year. She could have talked about the intersection of economics and policy and its role in the clean energy debate. She chose instead to review with us the mentors who had meant so much to her in her professional life, her heroines and a few heroes, as she called them. She had quite a pantheon of teachers, bosses, colleagues, leaders in government and industry, those more senior, but also those who were younger from whom she had learned important lessons. It struck me that she started with her family, her parents, her brothers, and her sister. And she also closed with her family, her husband and her sons. She praised her heroines and heroes for teaching her about the intersection of values and technology, and about using technology to solve problems, about having a clear idea and driving an agenda based on that idea, and about the importance of speaking the truth all the time, and that in every system, there are people involved. She praised her heroines for being incredibly capable women, committed to public service, very cool, my personal favorite, rock stars, and people who care about people. Most of us fail most of the time to remember that we're at our best when we praise the accomplishments of others. For Sue, that seems to come instinctively. She found much to praise in many people, and she said that her heroines help her to work joyfully in the field of clean energy. Sue must be a very good student. The characteristics that she praised in her heroines and mentors are characteristics that she thoroughly embodies. They make her a most deserving recipient of the award we give her today. And Andrea Okie, who's had the good fortune to have Sue as a mentor, is going to tell us a little bit about working with Sue on a sustained basis. I look forward to hearing her insights into Sue, one of my heroines.
Thank you, everyone, for having me here today. It's a pleasure to join you in honoring Sue today. And I'd like to share a few words about her role in my life as a mentor. When I first met Sue, I was amazed by her boundless energy, her upbeat attitude, and the breadth and depth of her experience in government, the nonprofit and foundation world, and the consulting field where I joined her. Though I was fresh out of graduate school and had only engaged in energy policy work in an academic context prior to working with Sue, she immediately brought me into the planning, decision-making, and execution of our work at Analysis Group. The way she placed her trust and confidence in me was both terrifying and the biggest boost to my own confidence and skills that I'd ever had. Equally important, she personally and professionally provided me with a model, which I still emulate to this day, of how to successfully juggle a demanding career while balancing her home life as a mother to Tom and James and a wife to John. In the office, Sue is widely known for her boundless energy. I know no one else who is able to put forth the level of sustained effort that Sue regularly commits to, nor anyone who is physically able to log as many hours on an airplane. We all know that nobody can keep up with Sue's breakneck pace, but it's clear from her that she doesn't expect us to either. However, her astonishing work ethic has never failed to inspire me to willingly put in the extra hours needed to get a job done. Sue has shown me the value of each member of a team. Whether she's talking to a fellow partner, a valued client, or the greenest intern, Sue speaks to each with a degree of respect and care that puts everyone at ease and allows them to speak their mind. Having established trust with her team and her own unquestioned work ethic, Sue inspires us to do great work. I've worked under many different people. Some have demanded my best and some have begged for it. Sue has gotten it without doing either because she values what I do, trusts my decisions, and helps me learn from my mistakes. Sue brings out the best in me and all of our team by leading by example. I happen to share Sue's policy and political viewpoints rather closely, but even if I didn't, I would still have a hard time disagreeing with her. In policy debates, Sue more often than not has logic and evidence on her side. But more than this, when suffering ad hominem attacks from her opponents, she displays a wealth of eloquence and grace under fire that much more powerfully than her sound policy positions undermines her opponents and wins the sympathy and agreement of the audience. Sue has the quality of true leadership. There have been countless meetings and conference calls in which I have despaired that we would never reach a consensus amongst a group of strong personalities and vastly differing perspectives. I've watched in amazement at the ease with which Sue synthesizes and compiles our disparate work to illuminate a path forward which allows everyone to reach agreement and shared purpose. In essence, Sue gets everyone to do what she wants them to do, and then they pat themselves on the back that it was their great idea in the first place. I'm still striving to reach this pinnacle of persuasion, but as in so many other things, Sue has shown me what's possible, and I know that if I ever need her advice, she'll be there. To those of us that have been lucky enough to work with Sue Tierney, the experience has been far more than a bullet point on a resume. Every day has been an opportunity to learn about energy, certainly, but more importantly, about how to be a leader who inspires others to give their best, an advocate who speaks with authority and empathy, and a person who impacts the world with integrity. It's been an honor to call Sue a colleague, a mentor, and a friend. Congratulations, Sue.
So whoever has to catch a plane, I'll try to be very quick. You three female heroines of mine, thank you so much. That was really, really lovely. And I just want you to know that we Andrea and I did not call each other about the clothing memo. It's just great minds think alike. I do really want to thank C3E, the Department of Energy, and MIT for this amazing program that was set up a couple of years ago. Christina Johnson really had a great vision for things that women could do together. And it's been carried out capably by Amy, by Melanie, by Martha, by the team of folks who have been, and Kate, all sorts of folks who have helped make this work. It's attracted an unbelievably accomplished set of females to come here, which is just wonderful. I want to spend 1 minute just saying how lucky I've been, because I'm standing here because I've just been very lucky. I was born into a house where they valued education, and they valued a sense of humor. They valued thinking about life as a glass half full, and they valued curiosity. And as a result, for me, it was education, having a high degree of energy and empowerment, which was really wonderful. I grew up between two brothers, and my little sister way down. And of course, I had to constantly keep them apart. And that was really great training for me in the energy field, right? You guys know that. I was also very lucky to have found a life partner in John Tierney, because there is just no way that anybody could do what I've been able to do and have two delightful sons without someone like John Tierney. So thank you so much, my dear life partner. You never show up on my resume, but actually, you probably should. It's really true. I've worked with such a wide range of marvelous people. I see folks like Bobby here, Amy, who I've had a chance to work with, these lovely gals. I'm sure Linda, many of you, it's just been fantastic working with you over time. And I just want to say how much I appreciate not only my more senior colleagues, but also my very dear buddy, Andrea, for that really wonderful introduction. She's part of a super team of people that I have had the pleasure of working with. And the reason I asked her to join us here is because she is a little beacon of light in an organization where I've seen her grow from kind of a junior analyst who had just recently gotten married, was a generalist, and she is now an expert on energy. It is such a moment of pride for me to have had a chance to watch her grow, become a leader in an organization, share the workload, spotlight, and everything with a wonderful group of people. Always open to saying yes, even though she probably shouldn't, because she has 3 young children at home. So it's folks like Andrea and the rest of you who are really the heroes in this group. I just want to say as one final word, one of my sister-in-law this morning wrote me a text, and she said, "Oh, congratulations, your next achievement, Medicare." So I'm going out with a bang. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so we're going to take a break. We're running a little bit behind, and so we're going to come back at 10 minutes of 4, 3:50, 5:0. So don't forget that the poster voting needs to happen now, right? I mean, this is your last opportunity for voting, and everybody has a card in their folder for votes. So there's a box to collect, a ballot box out on the solutions table. And just ask anybody to point you to that table, but it's basically right there, behind that wall. Okay, thank you.